Hi everyone and welcome to Higher Ed 515. I'm Dottie Weigel. I'll be teaching your class this next 8 weeks and I know most of you pretty well, but I'm looking forward to our time that we're going to be spending together through the discussions, through projects, Zoom sessions when we connect that way. So I think it'll be a great 8 weeks and I'm looking forward to it. I'm coming to you from Panera and Hershey. I'm spending some time here today just getting some work done. And Ashley, don't worry. I spend lots of time in Starbucks, so I'll be there too from time to time. But anyways, I wanted to take some time to talk a little bit about the projects and what to sort of expect from the class over the next 8 weeks, and also to talk about what is coming up over this next week as we get started. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that you all will be participating in weekly discussions. It's just like any of the other classes you've taken. But I do want to bring your attention to, if you've looked over the syllabus, to the word count, because I did change that a bit. If you go over by a couple of words, it's really not a problem, or if you're under by a few. But when you write like 100 words over, that's when I begin to take points off for that. And so I wanted to make sure that you're kind of keeping that in mind. Using citations properly, things like that, because I hate for people to get dinged for small errors that are easily avoidable. So pay attention to that. Also, we will be doing kind of our major project in this class is the strategic plan. And you'll be doing a proposal. You'll be thinking of an issue or something from an area where you're working in right now, or an area you plan to work in, or an area you're just interested in. And you'll be introducing an issue and saying, like, basically, here's the topic, here's the issue, and here's how I plan to address this through a strategic plan. And so that proposal will be coming up here pretty soon. So I want you to begin thinking of that. You'll also be interviewing a leader within an area that you're in, or that you're planning to be perhaps getting a job in someday. So you will touch base with that person. I'd really like for you to interview somebody that you have not interviewed for another class. So this should be somebody new. And I want you to know that the purpose for these interviews is really a point of connection for you all, but also to learn from people in the field who've kind of gone before you, and to hopefully have a lot of things that you can take away just from learning from other people. And so we'll take time for that project as well. Then the strategic plan overall, if you look, I believe it's in Module 8, you'll see that there's a rubric in there in Canvas. There's also the rubrics in the syllabus, and that kind of goes point by point. We'll be talking about some of these different things, SWOT analysis, different aspects that are sort of a part of the project. We'll be covering these as we go along. But if you want to know what pieces really go into that project and what you really need to work on in terms of doing well, I would highly recommend you look at the rubrics for the strategic plan. And then also, you'll be offering a presentation the last week of class. So this is a modified version of your strategic plan. You won't include everything, so make sure you pay attention to the rubric for that as well. It's a 7 to 10 minute presentation, so it's not meant to go extensively into detail, but just to be able to share with each other what you've learned through this class and through that project. So we will also have 2 Zoom sessions. At this point, I've assigned Monday evenings at 9 o'clock. There are 2 of these dates. You'll want to mark your calendars. If you have a legitimate excuse, Eric, I think you're probably the farthest away in terms of like time zones and how that all works out. You'll need to let me know. We'll need to talk one-on-one. But as this stands, those will be set dates, and you'll need to plan to attend those sessions. I'll give you more instructions as we get closer to that time. So as we get started with this week, our first week, the things that you'll want to keep in mind, you'll be reading from our Dickinson book, and that's chapters 1 and 2. Also, we have the Kozus and Posner. If you guys are in the strategic leadership concentration, perhaps you've seen that text, but you'll want to read the intro and then chapters 1 to 4. There's an article by Camp, Driving Change in Strategic Leadership, And you'll want to look at that as well as a video by Rich Horwath on strategic thinking. So all of those pieces will be leading into what we'll be discussing in our first discussion on strategic leadership. You'll also want to start thinking about your strategic plan proposal, like I said earlier, and then as well as that, a personal leadership philosophy that you guys will be working on writing as the next couple of weeks progress. I've given you some examples. If you look further down in Canvas, you'll see that there are 2 samples of personal leadership philosophies that you can read and get a better sense of what kind of goes into that. I don't want you to necessarily follow that format exactly, but it'll just give you a frame, a way to think about how you are going to be writing that. I will tell you that students who've taken this class have said that that's one of the most helpful parts of this course is formulating your own personal leadership philosophy. Being able to talk about that in interviews and to be able to use that in your own leadership as you step out and start working in higher education is extremely valuable. So it's going to be a great class, and each week I will do a video and talk a little bit about what's coming up and what to be thinking about. And I'll also be touching base, offering written announcements, and then we'll be connecting via Zoom and other ways. So if you have any questions, I encourage you to post those in the general course discussion, and then so that others can see how they might have the same question as well. Or you can connect with me one-on-one if that's easier via email, or you can even text me. I would just ask you to remind me who this is, just in case I don't have you in my phone. But I'm excited, and I look forward to spending some time with you over the next 8 weeks. And I hope you have a wonderful day.